let's talk about the most chaotic, stupidly impressive, and unrepeatable records in Formula One. Starting with Lotus in 1986, 16 races, 16 DNFs. That's not a racing season, that's a public breakdown. Every single weekend, they rolled out a car that collapsed faster than a cheap camping chair. Engine gone. Suspension gone. Gearbox? What gearbox? The mechanics didn't even prep the car. They just stood there with fire extinguishers and apology notes. At some point, it stopped being racing and started looking like a live demonstration of how not to build a car. And the drivers? These poor souls were basically trackside pedestrians. They just hopped out mid-race like, yep, here we go again. It's not a record, it's a curse. Now let's talk about Riccardo Patrese. The man disappeared for 78 races. No wins, no podiums, no nothing. And then just randomly came back in 1990 and won again. That's not a comeback. That's a glitch in the simulation. First win in 1982. Second win in 1990. And between that, the entire sport changed. Turbos came and went. Legends rose and fell, and Riccardo just hung around. The guy didn't claw his way to the top. The grid got bored and said, fine, take one. Nobody gets that kind of luck anymore. You'd get yeeted out of the sport after 3 bad weekends today, forget about 6 years of nothing. If you're enjoying these unbelievable F1 records, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more racing content that'll blow your mind. What's the most unreal F1 record you've ever heard about? Drop it in the comments below. Now, if we're talking about dominance, let's go straight to Juan Manuel Fangio. Because this man didn't play F1, he owned it. Out of 52 races, he won 24. That's a win rate of 46.15%. Just think about that. Every other weekend, this man was taking a trophy home like it was casual. Hamilton? 35.7%? Verstappen? 33,2% Schumacher? 29.6%. Fangio looked at those numbers and probably laughed in black and white. And this wasn't in today's luxury tech cars. This was in the days of zero seatbelts, death trap circuits, and engines that exploded if you looked at them funny. He won with 4 different teams. The guy didn't just join winners, he made them. And now? Let's dive headfirst into the sad part of the sport. Luca Badoer. 50 race starts, 0 points. Let that sink in. Not even a sympathy 10th place finish. The man was allergic to the scoreboard. And this isn't just in the backmarker teams. Oh no, he even got a shot in a Ferrari. And what did he do? Spun in the pit lane. You know how hard that is? That's like tripping over a doorway. Twice. It's so bad, the Ferrari radio might as well have just been a guy sighing into a mic. And the internet? Ruthless. This man is a meme, a warning sign, a walking tragedy in racing overalls. But wait, we've got one more to roast. Nico Hülkenberg. Over 200 races, 0 wins. At this point, he's not just a driver, he's the patron saint of 5th place. He dominated in junior series, beat champions, outqualified teammates, but in F1? Nothing. Nada. He's like that perfectly good actor who always gets cast as man number 3 in a sitcom. Every time there's chaos, rain, crashes, safety cars, and you think, maybe this is Hülkenberg's moment? Nope. Something always goes wrong. Tire gamble, fails, pit stop, botched. He just vanishes into 9th like a ghost. Teams keep calling him back too. Need a driver who won't win but won't crash either. Call Nico. He's basically a human seat warmer at this point. Alright, now let's flip the script and talk about the opposite. Actual dominance. Jim Clark in 1963. This man led 71% of all laps that season. That's not driving, that's owning the calendar. 7 wins in 10 races, 6 pole positions, no radio, no data, nothing. Just raw instinct and a Lotus 25 that was held together with tape and hope. And somehow, he made it look like a casual Sunday drive. He didn't need tire whispering engineers, he was the data system. And then there's Nigel Mansell in 1992. 14 pole positions in 16 races. Let me say that again, 14. That's 87.5%. In modern qualifying, where 2/10 is considered massive, Mansell showed up like, nah, I'll take pole every time. He wasn't just fast, he was violent with the throttle. He hunted pole positions like they owed him money. It wasn't even fair. Everyone else was playing F1 and Mansell was playing track and field. Now to Sebastian Vettel in 2013. 9 consecutive wins. Not 9 in a season, 9 in a row. That stretch from Belgium to Brazil was just him showing up and deleting the grid. 13 wins total that year. Mercedes couldn't even match that during their destruction era. And today's cars? Full of sensors, wind tunnel data, AI strategies. But in 2013, it was just Vettel, Red Bull, and dominance. And people booed him back then. Booed. Like winning too much was a crime. If only they knew how rare this was. Speaking of consistency, let's not pretend Lewis Hamilton didn't rewrite the stat book from 2014 to 2020. 103 wins, 104 poles, and a streak of 48 races in the points. That's not just performance, that's statistical bullying. He even sealed his 7th title in Turkey 2020, starting from P6 in the wet. Drove the wheels off that car. Literally everyone else looked like they were on ice skates, and Hamilton just floated past. People can argue about car advantage all day, but those numbers, they speak. And then, Verstappen 2023, 19 wins, 21 podiums, over 1,000 laps led, an 86.36% win rate in a full season. The man didn't just win, he made it boring. Every race felt like déjà vu. Same start, same finish, same expression. Verstappen didn't just drive. He conducted a masterclass in wrecking the sport's suspense. And no, that's not an insult. That's domination at its finest. He turned a grid of world-class talent into moving traffic cones. Now let's hit the pit lane, where Red Bull decided to time travel in 2019. Brazil Grand Prix, 1.82 seconds. That was the pit stop. Not 2 seconds, not close. Literally 1.82. That's faster than your brain registers skip ad. They didn't change tires. They summoned them into place. No fumbling, no human error. Just robotic movement. And yeah, every other team looked like clowns after that. Schumacher in Monaco, 1996. Drove a Ferrari that looked like it belonged in a scrapyard and still put it on pole by 0.6 seconds. If the car had a voice, it would have begged to retire. But nope, Schumacher made it sing. That lap made no sense and still doesn't. Senna, 1988. Monaco, put 1.4 seconds on Prost in the same car. That's not pole, that's humiliation. He didn't drive the lap, he transcended it. Every corner was poetry and Prost probably needed therapy after that. Hamilton 2018 in Australia? He dropped a qualifying lap that was 0.664 seconds faster than second place. In the turbo hybrid era where gains are microscopic, that's just rudeness. That was him reminding everyone he's still the boss. Now let's talk about a lap so ridiculous they straight up called it the God Lap. Donington, 1993. Senna starts P5, rain is dumping like it's monsoon season, and visibility is garbage. Doesn't matter. By the end of lap 1, he's in first. That's not a lap, that's divine intervention. 1 minute in, Senna just deletes the field. He finishes the race over a minute ahead. And no, this wasn't in a rocket ship, it was a midfield McLaren. No traction control, no grip, no problem. Everyone else looked like they were skating on butter. Senna just floated. And if you thought that was insane, let's go to Brazil, 2012. Sebastian Vettel spins on lap 1. He gets clipped, the car is damaged, telemetry's gone, and oh, it's raining off and on just to make things spicier. So, what does he do? He overtakes 22 cars and still finishes 6th, just enough to win the championship. And this wasn't a casual drive. This was survival mode activated. He didn't have live data, he had a broken exhaust, and the weather couldn't make up its mind. Still got the job done. That's not just skill, that's stubbornness wrapped in speed. And speaking of speed, Let's talk about Kimi Räikkönen at Monza in 2018. The man set the fastest lap in F1 history. Not of the season, not in qualifying, literally ever. An average speed of 263.588 kilometers per hour. That's 163.755 miles per hour. That's not driving, that's time travel. The Iceman didn't say much, he didn't celebrate. He just casually obliterated a record no one's going to touch, especially with the 2026 regulations set to slow everyone down. Kimi didn't care, the stopwatch did. Now from full send to photo finish. Monza, 1971. Peter Gethin wins a race by 0.01 seconds. Yeah, hundredths. The closest finish in Formula One history, and not just a two-man duel. 5 cars crossed the line within 0.6 seconds. Slipstreams everywhere, no chicanes, just pure chaos at 200 miles per hour. They had to check the result manually. In 1971. Imagine relying on a stopwatch and someone's eyesight to settle that. You blink, you miss it. Gethin wasn't even the favorite. He just showed up at the right time, held it flat, and stole a win by a margin thinner than a TikTok scroll. Now let's drag out the heartbreak. Sterling Moss, 16 wins, 0 championships. The greatest driver to never be crowned. This guy raced in an underpowered Lotus against full-blown Ferrari beasts and won. Monaco 1961 was straight-up witchcraft. He held off faster cars for 100 laps. 100. No safety barriers, no margin for error, just Moss versus physics. He didn't need a title to be legendary, he just needed a steering wheel and a grudge. Then there's Jack Brabham, who said, "Why drive for someone else when I can build the car myself?" In 1966, he races the Repco Brabham BT19, a car he literally helped design, develop, and race. Oh, and he was 40 years old. While today's drivers are retiring into Instagram modeling, Jack was out here running his own team, managing logistics, and still winning titles. That's not a stat, that's a flex. Fernando Alonso deserves his own Greek tragedy. Over 381 race starts, still sharp, still out-qualifying drivers half his age. And he's the oldest podium finisher in the modern era. He won his first race in 2003. He's still around 2 decades later with the same level of rage, skill, and radio sass. That 21-year gap between his first and latest win isn't just rare. It's impossible to replicate now. Most drivers these days last about as long as a TikTok trend. George Russell, let's talk about Mr. Lap 1. This man gained positions on the opening lap for 24 straight races. That's not luck, that's surgical aggression, while others are getting squeezed out or overcooking. Turn 1, George is out here climbing positions like it's his job. Because it is. Give him a slower car? Doesn't matter. He'll still find a way to bully his way past someone. It's like his alarm clock is set to overtake mode. Daniel Ricciardo's 2018 Monaco win is another masterpiece. Engine failure halfway through the race. Power's down, brakes are overheating, the car's begging to quit. But Daniel, he just keeps going. He holds the lead the entire race while the engine wheezes like it has asthma. No panic, no mistakes. Just pure honey badger energy. And this wasn't a redemption arc. It was a revenge mission after that brutal 2016 pit stop disaster. Same track, different result. He finally got what he was robbed of, with half a car. Now to the numbers that are officially sealed in stone. Mercedes won 8 straight constructors' titles between 2014 and 2021. That's domination nobody's touching. Ferrari's record of 6 straight looked unbeatable before that, but Mercedes said, "Hold my downforce," and made every other team look like hobbyists for nearly a decade. And leading the charge? Lewis Hamilton. Precision, consistency, and a whole lot of silver trophies. Max Verstappen won his first race at just 18 years and 228 days old. That record is never getting touched again. Not because no one's fast enough, but because they're not even allowed. FIA's super license rules now make it literally impossible for anyone under 18 to debut in F1. So unless a 12-year-old sneaks in with a fake passport, Verstappen's youngest winner stat is safe forever. Some records are unbreakable, but hitting that subscribe button isn't, so go ahead and do it before someone else steals your spot on the grid. Which of these records do you think will be the first to fall, or do you think they're all truly untouchable? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next race breakdown.